We had wall-to-wall hot cars and hot cans in our episode on the Fast and Furious movies, followed by ass-kicking explosions and Black Widow's hot cans with the Avengers. So we knew we had to keep that momentum going by doing an episode on a-cappella musical comedies. Here are 7 things you didn't know about Pitch Perfect. Probably.
Hands in! 1, 2,
If you're going to star in a movie about a cappella, you're going to need to have some really good pipes, which is why Adam Devine didn't even want to try out for the role of Bumper.
No, hard pass.
Initially, Devine turned down the opportunity to audition for the film because he doesn't sing. Unless, of course, he's explaining the plot of Entrapment.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, she deeps beneath the lasers. Ooh.
Anyway, we know how this story ends. It turns out, yes, Adam Devine does sing. I guess being a pretty good singer was just a thing Adam Devine didn't know about himself. Even though it's hard to imagine Pitch Perfect without Cynthia Rose, Esther Dean was a last-minute addition to the cast. You probably recognize the song she's singing here at the riff-off, S&M, made famous by Rihanna, but I'll bet you didn't know that Esther Dean actually co-wrote that song. That's right, na 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 na, come on! She freaking wrote that. It took her and like 3 other people to come up with that, which is, still kind of cool. Esther Dean is actually a very accomplished songwriter with a bunch of credits for artists like Beyonce, Mary J. Blige, and Kelly Clarkson. In fact, on the day they were filming this scene, Esther was really distracted and on her phone a bunch between shots, which wasn't sitting too well with the director for obvious reasons.
This is hard for me to admit to you guys.
I think we all know where this is going.
Let's be honest.
Turns out she had the best excuse ever. She'd just found out that she'd been nominated for a Grammy. So, yeah, go ahead and look at your phone a bunch.
I'm all in, bitches.
To secure Pitch Perfect's PG-13 rating, there were quite a few things that had to be changed or cut out, including a bunch of improv between Rebel Wilson and Adam Devine that was way, way too blue to be family-friendly. One key line that had to be cut came after this one.
Does anyone here have anything to confess?
It was an accident.
Turn in your scarf and go.
The original line there was, "It was an accident, it landed in my hand," which is still pretty tame as far as handjob jokes go if you ask me, but what do I know? Contrary to popular belief, I've never actually given a handjob, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Next thing.
Is it me or do we just take a left turn into Snoozeville?
In addition to appearing in Pitch Perfect, Elizabeth Banks was one of the film's producers and she directed the upcoming sequel. But Pitch Perfect 2 wasn't technically her first time directing because she's also directed some porn.
Ooh, that's right, John. I'll have to excuse myself to freshen up the downtown.
Remember this part from the first film? When all the guys are hanging out in the hot tub watching porn together like a bunch of totally normal guys would? Well, the cleaning fetish porn playing on the TV was shot specifically for the film and it was directed by Elizabeth Banks. Shooting their own porno was a lot easier than trying to get clearance for someone else's and trying to find clips from it that would still be PG-13 friendly. Hey, I've said it a million times. Nothing prepares you better for directing feature-length musical comedies than directing fake background fetish porn. Speaking of how hard it can be to clear stuff, the filmmakers ran into some problem getting permission to show all the real album covers in this scene, which explains this album cover with the baby on it. That's baby Felix, Elizabeth Banks' real-life son with her husband and fellow Pitch Perfect producer Max Handelman. And not to sound like a douche or anything, but I really like baby Felix's older stuff better. Before he sold out, before he went all emo. Remember the montage of all the different groups competing at the ICCAs? What you probably didn't know is all of the groups we see in the montage are actually singing the same song, and that song was Happy Birthday. No, cut that off. Cut that off. We can't afford it. As I was saying, all of the a cappella groups in this montage are actually just extras, except these guys. Those are the Hullabahoos, and they're a totally real a cappella group. But everyone else just sang Happy Birthday, and they were taught some basic choreography by the first AD to do for the scene. The filmmakers knew that since it would be in slow motion, it wouldn't be obvious that everyone was singing the same song. And since everyone knows Happy Birthday, don't play it. Don't you do it. They didn't have to worry about teaching a bunch of extras the lyrics to an unfamiliar song. That is some savvy filmmaking, filmmakers. Let's wrap this up with a running joke that you probably never noticed. This guy on the Troublemakers was meant to be known as Unicycle. Seriously, that's even how the actor is credited on IMDb. And that's because he was supposed to be riding his unicycle in pretty much every scene they were in. Michael Viruette spent nearly all of his downtime on set practicing riding the unicycle, so he was definitely committed to the bit. Sadly, in the end, the joke was cut for time. But you can still see Unicycle with his unicycle pretty consistently throughout the film. And you kind of get to see him riding it right here. So yeah, all of those hours spent learning to ride it weren't a complete and utter waste of time. It comes pretty damn close, but it's still not technically a complete waste of time since it is in the movie for about 2 seconds. There you have it. Hopefully you are 7 things smarter than you were before about Pitch Perfect. Even though marketing more or less recycled the exact same campaign from the first movie to promote the sequel, and I'm pretty sure that tagline doesn't even make sense,
Excuse me?
let us know if you're hyped for Pitch Perfect 2. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out CineFix.com and subscribe for more true-ish things about movies, and sometimes my favorite handjob jokes and methods, right here on Things You Didn't Know. I'm just kidding. I'm not giving away my methods.
Go ahead. Let me see that booty work.